Hello and welcome to the latest of my Inside Tracks. Today I'm going to explore the arrival and journey through the sign of Pisces of the Sun. This event begins on February the 18th at 10:35 p.m. Universal Central Time. This is the 12th zodiac sign, so therefore it's a culminating period of influences that we can expect before the Sun makes its way into the sign of Aries on the spring equinox of March the 20th, and we start the whole Western tropical calendar again with the first cardinal quadrant. So this last 4 weeks is a critical phase. In terms of the collective, it's a time when we can all think about what the previous 11 months has meant, but also the sign of Pisces has particular characteristics which I'm going to be sharing with you. And we need to also look at the event chart to understand what this particular transition this year will influence, what this particular transition this year is likely to play out. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community. Please comment. I interact with all comments, like or subscribe. And also, if you'd like to further your understanding of your own personal astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your life roadmap report, which can help you to understand some of the deeper patterns which have played out so far in your life, but get a much more intimate understanding of those. That's going to help you to work with the awkward ones, but also work with the more positive energies. In my special package, you can also get your 12-month forecast, and there's 30% off. No 2 charts are the same. They're absolutely unique to you. Please see the link beneath this video. So as we see the Sun move into the sign of Pisces. So the sign of Pisces is the 12th zodiac sign. It's mutable in its quality, which means that it's flexing. It is naturally reflective, but also hugely compassionate. This is partly because the 2 planets that rule the sign of Pisces, Jupiter is very much about spiritual growth and understanding, and Neptune is a very healing, mystical influence, quite hard to pin down. It can be very intangible in some ways. So one of the things we're being asked to do over this particular transition, I think, is to take the whole arena and sphere of feeling, our senses, the non-tangible plane, much more seriously. And that's because we do have a new moon which occurs so quickly in Pisces, and it is conjunct Saturn, the planet of limitation, but also the planet of wisdom. So the more that we can accept the need to get in touch with the parts of our existence that are non-practical, that aren't just to do with our head, air, or our body, fire. This is more about water. So the symbolism of the sign of Pisces is, of course, the 2 fish. And I think Pisces energy does have a duality. Like I said before, it can be hugely compassionate, but I think Pisces energy can be also very cold and detached. And that's often, I think, an archetype that is missed. But what I'm going to do now is share the event chart on the screen. And you can see that the Sun is in house 4, which is very much about security, whether it's practical or emotional. And of course, this has a flavour of the sign of Cancer. But you can see that the position of Saturn is only 2 degrees away. It's applying, and of course it's going to move into the sign of Pisces on March the 7th. If you want to check out my deep dive video on Saturn, please see the link below. And also, if you would like to understand what your energies will be for the latter part of February or all through March, both monthly forecasts can be found in the link beneath this video too. But you can see we do have an ascendant in the sign of Libra at 25 degrees. Now that's usually quite an elegant presentational position for the ascendant to be, but it's actually in a very brutal right angle with Pluto. So don't be surprised, even if there are parts of your existence where you might try to do the right thing to help someone else, or be quite self-sacrificing, or do something quite noble for others, which is all very Piscean energy, that there could be some politics threaded through that situation. Also, please see that the Moon and Mercury are in an exact conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. Now, it just so happens that Mercury is exalted in the sign of Aquarius and governs the second 10 degrees. So that's a very strong position for Mercury to be in, but it is in the 4th house, which can be rather introspective and can see us recycling our fears and anxieties around our mind. And with the Moon so close by, the challenge here is not to be too detached or get too emotional about something. That 4th house energy where Saturn is asking us all to really work hard at our sense of our foundations in our lives, and not just in a material sense. Of course, Saturn can be very much to do with structures, so that's not to say we shouldn't think about changes to our homes, particularly if it makes things more peaceful or more organised. So that would be a lovely thing to do, the organisation from Saturn, the peacefulness from the Sun. But I think this particular chart is set up a lot to challenge any hesitancy we might have about engaging with that more spiritual domain. You can also see the ascendant is in a quincunx with both Venus, the ruler of the sign of Libra, and Neptune. So once more, we could try to do our best for someone in a situation, but then may not have very clear boundaries, because Neptune in a 150-degree angle with the position of the ascendant, which after all is our body, is our physicality, that can be very dissipating to our vitality. Now, of course, they have been in an exact conjunction, which happened on Wednesday. A delightful conjunction, it has to be said, just after Valentine's Day. But then we had the crunching energy of the Sun's exact conjunction in Aquarius, which occurred on Thursday. So this arrival of the Sun in the sign of Pisces is the next stage of the story. We've had a lot of Capricornian energy washing around, particularly with that conjunction between Mercury and Pluto, which really has caused some mischief. And then the Aquarius energy is really thinking about what did we really achieve in Saturn's transition through the sign of Aquarius the last couple of years. So I think the next month is a fantastic opportunity to really reflect around the more feeling, more emotional, more spiritual, more reflective strands of life. Any opportunity we can get to get near water, whether it's a spa day or it is walking by a lake or the ocean or a river, is a really good thing to do, because that can be very peaceful and calming to our senses, which is something that would be very, very welcome. And I also feel that it's important to say that the combination between Venus and Neptune is still very much conducive to the energy of Pisces, not just because they're there, it's because Neptune rules Pisces and obviously Venus is exalted in that sign. So the Sun's arrival in terms of the whole sign view of this event, thinking of sun sign astrology, it does strengthen the whole Piscean vibe. So if there is a good cause we can do something practical for, or there is something that we can donate our time, energy, or any spare money to, for example, like the tragedy that has happened in Turkey or Syria, that's something that we could actually get quite a lot of fulfillment from. But it is important around the giving with this Piscean energy that we don't give so much that we end up feeling totally invisible, empty and exhausted at the physical plane, because remember, Pluto is really challenging that ascendant in a very powerful way. And watch out for someone who may be quite demanding or dictatorial in their approach. and really are asking of your goodwill, but the way they go about it may not be in a very collaborative way. And that could be a time when we all may need to push back a little bit over the next 4 weeks as this journey unfolds. But obviously once the movement of the Sun does merge with Neptune, which is on March the 15th, that could be a very special opportunity to reach into the higher part of ourselves. All sun signs, all planets, all configurations have a stronger and more challenging dimension. And that particular combination could be very, very positive indeed. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, comment, or subscribe.